Yo, it is Monkey D. Tyro, aka the guy who doesn't upload videos for 2 weeks. I know, I've been gone for like a good 2 weeks now, but I am back with a new, and I think it's gonna be a fun what if. This is what if Tanjiro became a demon. I do hope you guys enjoy. Roll the intro. After the death of Tanjiro's father, Tanjiro would practice the Hinokami Kagura dance taught to him by his father before passing, to please his mother and, like the normal, to try and ward off sickness and death. His mother would succumb to anger and alcohol, which was rare for her to drink since in order to get it, it was basically so far away. She would try and cope with her husband's death. She would abuse Tanjiro day by day, beating him, which eventually led for him to get the marking on his forehead that he would normally get in the final selection of the original story. Day by day, he couldn't sell wood. Even though since his smell was almost freakish, he still couldn't sell any wood or coal. Tanjiro was seen as a disappointment, as heck, he couldn't even get a bride to try and pass on the family. No, he was the failure. Most of his siblings accomplished more than Tanjiro did. Even though Tanjiro tried his hardest, the Hinokami Kagura dance was the only thing he was good at. And yet, his mother did not even acknowledge it. Every single time Tanjiro did it, the only one that seemingly cared was Nezuko and his siblings. Speaking of which, even though Tanjiro was seen as a disappointment, Nezuko was seen as a blessing to the family. This made Tanjiro praise her, as she pretty much was the only bright sun in his life, besides the dance his father taught him. This would make Tanjiro want to protect her, and in order to do that, he must learn how to fight. This made him transform the Hinokami Kagura dance into a sword style, although he still called it the Hinokami Kagura, unknowing of the actual name. One day, after trying to sell wood and coal, Tanjiro decides to just go home, as he knows he's probably not going to get any more since it was nighttime. Because of his freakish sense of smell, he could smell this faint smell of blood, which smelled like rusted iron. Even though an old man tried warning him to not go up mountains in the dead of night because of demons, this only made Tanjiro want to go up and protect his sister more. He would walk into this house with a slaughtered family. The only two that were missing were his mother and his younger sister. He would grab his father's old katana, who his father said was just there for decoration. But unknowingly, this was actually the original Demon Slayer's katana, passed along with the earrings of the Kamado family. He tried finding the murderer, but it slowly revealed itself. His mother was turned into a demon, and apparently, by the looks of things, killed their entire family. Tanjiro was angered, so angry to the point where he couldn't even breathe. All he could think about was killing her. Of course, he didn't mind her hurting him, but the rest of the family was not fair. Tanjiro would fight his mom, but she was just too strong. Tanjiro never learned to properly breathe in order to incorporate the techniques to his fullest power. Eventually, Tanjiro's mother pinned Tanjiro to the ground, but luckily Tanjiro did have the sword near the neck. All he had to do was summon a force of 100 times. Tanjiro would tell himself that she must have killed Nezuko since he couldn't see her, and that he must summon the force of 1,000 blades to try and cut her, just like Dad did to the bear back when he was 5. Tanjiro would continue to try and cut, but she still was too strong. Eventually, his heart raced, his blood boiled, and at the age of 13, he unlocked his Demon Slayer mark, which was flames near the left side of his forehead. Eventually, he would cut his own mother's head off, and Muzan Kibutsuji was watching, and he was going to kill Tanjiro when he saw someone beat him to the punch. Nezuko ran up to Tanjiro, stabbed him into the stomach. Tanjiro would look into Nezuko's eyes. Why? She killed her family. Nezuko with rage in her eyes and heart yelled at Tanjiro. It's your fault. It's all your fault. She became a demon to get rid of you, since you're such a disappointment. She would stab it further into his stomach with blood oozing out. I hate you. I always hated you. You killed her. You're a murderer. Over and over again, he would hear this in his mind. Tanjiro would realize that the only person he cared about since Dad died, was dead, and a demon was born. Tanjiro would reply to Nezuko's hatred. Who are you? Nezuko would be visibly confused. Tanjiro would continue. You're not my sister. She was kind and caring, but you're rude and cruel. Give her back or die. Nezuko would back away from Tanjiro, thinking that he finally snapped, that Dad's death finally got to him. She tried running away, but Tanjiro would whisper, Hino Kami Kagura, dance, killing Nezuko. Muzan, thinking an awful idea, a truly awful idea, seeing the swordsman snap, not even caring about human life anymore. And not only that, he had the sword style of the one who tried killing him. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. In order to beat your enemy is to become them. Muzan had a horrible idea. He would walk towards Tanjiro. Tanjiro would turn around to try and look at Muzan, and Muzan, out of fear, couldn't breathe until he finally said one word. Hello, young man. I saw what happened. Are you okay? Muzan asked. I smell a scent of fear from you. Are you scared of me? Tanjiro would ask Muzan. But Muzan would appear behind Tanjiro, surprising him, slowly showing Tanjiro that he, Muzan, is stronger than him, Tanjiro. Tanjiro, was it? When I look at you, I don't see disappointment. All I see is potential to be better. If you agree to become a demon, you will join my family, where you won't be treated so poorly as you once did. Tanjiro remembered all of his family, his father, until he realized that it's all gone anyway. He has nothing left. It's either this, or Muzan would just probably kill him. Tanjiro, then sniffed the air. If Muzan had any ill intent, he could smell it. But no. What he smelled was the sweetest smell he's ever smelled in his life. It was like pie. Tanjiro could tell Muzan was being caring, even though Muzan is just trying to give off this impression. Secretly, Muzan still had a horrible idea. Tanjiro shook his head in agreement, and Muzan gave Tanjiro his blood, making him pass out, waking up to Muzan in the Infinity Castle. "Who am I, Master Muzan?" Tanjiro asked, as Muzan smiled. "Rise, Tanjiro, and help me achieve my dream." Those were the first words Tanjiro could remember ever being told. And those were the first orders he was ever told as a demon. And he had nothing against it. He shook his head. "Yes, Master Muzan." Muzan would then summon all 12 demon moons to the Infinity Castle, and Muzan would look at all 12 demon moons, then look at Tanjiro. "Tanjiro, prove your worth to me. Choose one of them and fight to the death." Tanjiro looked at Doma. As Doma would look at Tanjiro in amusement, Kokushibo would be visibly angry as Tanjiro's marking on his forehead reminded him of something. But it wasn't just on his forehead. Ever since Tanjiro became a demon, the Demon Slayer mark spread around his body like wildfire, until it was visibly obvious that Tanjiro used to be a swordsman, which he still had the sword in hand. "I don't think you could take me on, Tanjiro. Maybe a lower moon, but not me. Hell no." As he would begin to laugh, Tanjiro would unsheath his sword, which was his father's. As Tanjiro then got a flash into the past, he could see himself as Yoriichi about to cut down Muzan. Tanjiro would then appear in front of Doma with swirls of flames behind him. Doma would try and summon ice, but the ice automatically melted as Tanjiro would whisper, "Hinokami Kagura, Sunflower Frost," decapitating Doma. And after seeing this, the cells in Muzan shook in fear, including Muzan himself and all of the 12 demon moons. Well, I mean all upper 12. The lower 12 were just shocked to see that the upper 12 were scared as well. Muzan proudly said, "Well done, Tanjiro. I'm so proud of you for killing that weakling. I shall reward you with rank of upper 2. I could do upper 1, but I don't think Kibutsuchi would agree. Would you?" Kibutsuchi shook his head. "There's a lot of things wrong with his stance. I could probably take him." As Muzan would then smile, "Good. Train him." As Kibutsuchi would be confused, "Are you telling me to change him so he can take my place?" "Well, sort of. Don't worry, Kibutsuchi, you're still of importance. But don't you see it? Do you see the swordsmanship? It's just like him. We need him on our team." I want you to keep in mind that this conversation was in telepathic form. Tanjiro could not hear a single word. For the next few years, Tanjiro would live in the Infinity Castle as his base. Nakame, which is pretty much the person who can control the Infinity Castle, him and Nakame grew a close friendship. They kind of enjoyed each other's presence. Tanjiro didn't really bother her or annoy her, and they actually enjoyed her music, which made her smile. Finally, somebody can appreciate a good tune. He would also train with Akaza from time to time, once Akaza at a time, which allowed Tanjiro to develop his second blood demon art. Yes, he had two. The first one he learned by training with Kokushibo. Kokushibo told Tanjiro that the breath style he was using was the sun-breathing technique, which his older brother used, and that he can actually develop his blood demon art to make properties that the sun-breathing technique could actually be useful for. For example, he can make giant crescent moons for his moon breathing, but you can make flames with your sun breathing. Tanjiro got down blood demon art very easily. and that was his first blood demon art, sun breathing. Thanks to Akaza, he learned his second blood demon art, which was called the opening thread of destiny. Basically, Tanjiro, if he gets the scent of his opponent correctly, he can even predict movement by slight changes of the scent, which just means slight changes of muscle, pulses, pretty much anything. Even sweat could predict where somebody's going to go. Although he can only see up to a certain amount of time into the future, which is up to the intended purpose of the strike. So for example, let's say he was fighting somebody who wanted to do a combo, he could only see the combo. But if someone just wanted to punch him, he can only see the punch. That's pretty much basically it. After 2 years, Kokushibo even got stronger, which means that at the end of the day, Tanjiro was still upper 2, but it was super obvious that Tanjiro and Kokushibo are around the same strength. Kokushibo also taught Tanjiro how to properly breathe, which helped. Akaza even got stronger, as now he probably would have been upper 2 and stronger than Doma if Tanjiro just didn't exist, which he was not mad about. He loved fighting Tanjiro, it got him a thrill. After the Lower Moon 5th died, Muzan killed every Lower Moon except for Lower Moon 1 Emmu. Muzan, fearing that Emmu would fail on his mission, would ask Tanjiro to look after the Mugen train, which was Emmu, pretty much where he was going to go. He asked Tanjiro to take care of any leftover Hashira or swordsmen that are there. And Muzan even told Tanjiro that he should probably eat someone, as Tanjiro, as a demon, surprisingly hasn't eaten a single human yet. Somehow, Tanjiro was still alive. Muzan theorized this was because of the sun breathing technique, but there was nothing to confirm it. After Rengoku took care of Lower Moon by himself, which, yes, we're just going to assume Rengoku can do it all by himself, because Zenitsu nor Inosuke would have been formed without Tanjiro, I guess. So yeah, Yoriichi would show himself to Rengoku. "You're a Hashira, aren't you?" Tanjiro asked. "Yes, I'm the Flame Hashira, Kojiro Rengoku." "Tell me, Upper Moon 2, how many humans have you slain?" Rengoku asked. "I've only been a demon for 2 years, and I've been Upper Moon 2 for the same amount of time. Yet, surprisingly, I've only killed 2 humans, and yet I haven't eaten a single one. But it looks to me like I just got a 200 human meal on my dinner plate, including a Hashira. I must thank you." Rengoku replied. "Well, don't thank me yet." As Rengoku tried to strike Tanjiro, but he blocked it with his own sword. "Since you said your name, I think I should say mine. I am an Upper Moon 2 Tanjiro, the sun-breathing demon." Rengoku would realize and recognize the phrase sun-breathing. "So, you were a former swordsman, were you?" Tanjiro would try and correct Rengoku. "No, I just know the sun-breathing technique. I was never really trained by a swordsman, unless you count Upper Moon 1, then I guess. So tell me, were you a disgrace to the family because of turning into a demon?" Rengoku would ask. Tanjiro would correct him again. "I was a disgrace to a family either way. My mother became a demon." As Rengoku would kind of be filled with rage. "So then why did you become one?" As Tanjiro would reply by going behind Rengoku, showing off his speed. "Because I have nothing else." And this This is where we're going to end off part 1 of What If Tanjiro Became a Demon. I hope you guys do enjoy. Normally, when I read or watch stories like this, where Tanjiro became a demon, it's normally Nezuko and Tanjiro swapping roles. But I feel like Tanjiro using the sun breathing technique to instantly go up to Upper Moon 2 would make more sense. Also, I have a question down below in the comments. Do you think Tanjiro and the main series, right now, which is the Entertainment District arc, could defeat Upper Moon 2, Tanjiro, the sun-breathing demon? I personally don't think he would defeat him, especially since how I wrote out the next scene of the second part of the story. This was Chapter 1, Tanjiro Kamado, and this is me signing off. Bye, guys. Yo, it's me, Monkey D. Tyro, and today we're going to talk about what if Tanjiro became a demon. This is part 2 in the series, and I hope you guys do enjoy. The sound of clashing blades will be heard from a distance as Tanjiro and Rengoku are in battle. Tanjiro, holding back, would ask Rengoku questions about his life, why he became a demon slayer, and what's the point of protecting others. Tanjiro would eventually pin Rengoku down, but the only thing between Tanjiro's blade and Kojiro's neck was Rengoku's red blade. Rengoku would speak after a long silence. When you asked me what the point of protecting others was, I couldn't answer you, but now I have one. Tanjiro would smile. So you can talk, Tanjiro said playfully. Kojiro would have a flashback to a memory about his mother. Rengoku would yell at the top of his lungs, because growing old and dying gives meaning and beauty to death of a human life. If I could prevent that death, I must. Tanjiro would be knocked back. He would then say to himself, his scent, it's different. Rengoku would have a giant mark from his chest to his left cheek, a giant red, yellow, and orange flame. Rengoku would yell, I will see my duty fulfilled. Flame-breathing ninth form, Rengoku. Tanjiro would respond, Blood Demon Art, Thread of Destiny. When Tanjiro saw Rengoku's future movements in battle, based off scent, instead of seeing Rengoku like he would normally, instead he saw a bright, flaming dragon. Tanjiro would smile. This is so fun. Please become a demon so we can fight forever. Rengoku and Tanjiro looked each other in the eyes as they both charged at each other. Silence filled the area as Rengoku's katana snapped in half, in unison with his head sliding off of his neck. Tanjiro had a blank face. I wish that you became a demon and you had the scent of passion. But because of that, I won't eat the 200 people you saved. Rest in peace, Kojiro Rengoku. Tanjiro would sheath his sword while walking away. He would then report to Muzan that he killed the Flame Hashira, Kojiro Rengoku. Good, Tanjiro. I'm so proud of you. Muzan would reply with the statement. After a week, Tanjiro was bored. As the second Upper Moon demon, most demon slayers actively tried to not get in his way. Because of this, Nakame would actually suggest Tanjiro that goes to the Entertainment District. Minutes later, Tanjiro would be amazed at how beautiful the district was, how colorful it was. The smells and the scents of food and smells of fire. Sorry, I lost track. There you go. And the scent of fire just filled him up. Then he got a random smell. It was Daki, Upper Moon 6. Although he smelled 2 scents, he still felt the one that he was familiar with. When he found Daki, she was crying on the floor with blood around her, in the room with a leg and a head, but the head was destroyed to the point where it was unrecognizable. Daki, are you okay? Daki would look back at Tanjiro and lash out at him, trying to cut him into pieces with her ribbons. She would then wipe her tears and ask what Tanjiro was doing here. I smelled your scent and I saw that you were crying. She would then try and choke out Tanjiro. She would continue crying. Tanjiro would just smile. Daki would calm down. Tanjiro would then slowly walk towards Daki. So, why are you crying? He would then sit next to her, but he made sure that his body was a lot close to the ground to not seem like he's trying to show dominance. The whole point of him is trying to calm her down at least. Daki would explain that one of the customers called her ugly and it just pissed her off. Tanjiro and Daki would talk the night away. Eventually, Tanjiro would bring up the few memories he had as a human before he became a demon. And the one thing that he remembered was that he couldn't do his job, whatever it was, because of a mark on his forehead being deemed ugly and a freak. Tanjiro and Daki will continue talking until Daki eventually fell asleep. But before sleeping, she would tell Tanjiro that his forehead mark looks beautiful. For the next 4 months, Tanjiro and Daki would actually become close friends. Eventually, Tanjiro would meet Daki's older brother, Gyutaro. Tanjiro and Gyutaro actually became fast friends, to the point where Gyutaro would just vow not to go back into Daki until Tanjiro leaves. Him and Tanjiro would have arm wrestling competitions, fight each other, and sometimes even seriously spar to see which one's stronger. Gyutaro knew that he couldn't kill Tanjiro by simply cutting his head off, considering the fact that Tanjiro is a lot stronger than him. But sparring with Tanjiro did give him somewhat fear, but not all the time. When Tanjiro is blatantly obvious about his emotions of being happy, he isn't a threat. But if Gyutaro could even sense one hint of anger, he vowed to stay away. For some reason, the breath of sun gave him and Daki chills. But Tanjiro made sure to make it clear that he doesn't have any intention trying to kill them. Eventually, Tanjiro would come back to the entertainment district art. I almost said, I'm keeping that in. That was stupid. Anyway, let's continue. Eventually, Tanjiro would come back to the entertainment district. And it was pretty much dead in night, almost midnight, and he heard a bunch of noise. Bombs, hums, and even a snake. He smelled the scent. It was Daki and Gyutaro, and 3 unfamiliar scents. He would run towards the district. He would then see a fight between Daki, Gyutaro, and 2 demon slayers. One demon slayer had 2 giant swords with chains on them, and another demon slayer had a snake on his back. The 2 demon slayers were about to cut Daki and Gyutaro's head off, but Tanjiro intervened. Sun breathing, clear blue sky. Tanjiro would cut the blades off of the demon slayers' swords. Sun breathing, although that is a flashy name, I don't recall it. Tell me, are you the new Upper Moon 2? One demon slayer asked. I'm Upper Moon 2, Tanjiro, the sun-breathing demon. And you are going to die. The same demon slayer laughed. No, my name is Tengen Uzui, the Sound Hashira. I'm the most flashiest Hashira you have ever seen. Tanjiro would chuckle. He actually liked this one. It was like the other one he killed. Tanjiro would smile. So, Are you here for revenge? Or is she going to try and kill me? The man with the snake, then walked towards Tanjiro. Tell me, are you the same demon that killed Kyojiro? Tanjiro would then laugh. Yes, that is me. And you are? My name is Obana Igiro. Please be aware, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Lol. Anyway, continue. Continuing on. My name is Obana Igiro. And that man was very close to me. So if you don't mind, I have to kill you. Tanjiro would get a scent of revenge from Obanai and a scent of pleasure from Uzui. Tanjiro would then yell at Daki. Daki, get back. We're gonna need you as support. He would then look at Gitaro. Are you sure you can continue fighting? Gitaro would laugh. I'm not disgraceful. I'm here to protect my sister. If it means I have to team up with someone, so be it. Obanai would then laugh. Demons, huh? Yet you have familiar bonds. He would then try and cut Tanjiro's neck off, even though his sword was pretty much broken. Tanjiro would comment how the sword looked like it could curve. He would then dodge it completely, then kick Obanai near the ribs. Tengen would state that it's going to be hard to fight with pretty much half a sword. Half of two swords. But he could still manage as he goes after Gyutaro. Tanjiro would then go after Obanai. Their fight lasted a long time, mainly because Tanjiro, even though he was pissed, he still enjoyed fighting. And just the fact that he could move his body after 4 months was just fine enough. But keep in mind, this was not a playful fight, especially for the Hashira, as even though Tanjiro and Gyutaro, to them, seemed like two new demons, they knew each other's fighting style very well. Tanjiro would set up fake outs using fake rainbow, and when they fall for it, Gyutaro would try and hit them with his poison. Eventually, both of them were poisoned. The fight lasted on pretty much forever. Around the time of 3 a.m., the insect Hashira would eventually arrive to the entertainment district. Now, arriving way faster than overnight because a secret demon slayer within the district summoned her there. Eventually, this demon slayer revealed himself. Tanjiro was about to finish off Obanai, but then he heard an unfamiliar voice. Sun breathing! Dance! Tanjiro was then hit by the technique at his arm. He would then lunge back with his sword. He would then regrow his arm. Sun breathing, huh? The only people who should know who that is was, as his eyes widened, he saw it. His younger brother, Takeo Kamado. He had an axe and a scarf with the Kamado symbol kind of on it. He had tears in his eyes. How dare you kill them? Mom! Big sister! Tanjiro would look at Taketo. So, I remember you, but I really don't. You have to remind me, who are you? Taketo would be filled with rage. Tanjiro could sense that. Am I supposed to know you? All I can remember is calling you older brother. Well, younger brother. But I don't remember anything else about you. So if we have any other familiar bond or anything like that, you're gonna have to try and remind me. Taketo would then lunge at Tanjiro. How could you do that? Betray the family and become a demon? How could you? He would be using a combination of sun-breathing techniques, as he would call it, Kamikagura originally, but just like Tanjiro, he did find out it's just called sun-breathing. Tanjiro and Taketo would be fighting each other using sun-breathing techniques, both of them kind of falling for little traps Tanjiro a lot lesser than Takito, but he can still manage. Takito would explain how Tanjiro was a disappointment, a disgrace, which only filled Tanjiro's rage, especially since after every word, Tanjiro can remember something about his past, until eventually he said the same words Nezuko did years ago. It's your fault. She became a demon to get rid of you since you're such a disappointment. Tanjiro would get all of his memories back. He would remember all the times his mom beat him, simply for not being able to sell a bit of coal or wood. Tanjiro would be filled with rage, but then that rage was interrupted when he heard Gitaro's shrieking scream. No! Izumi! As Tanjiro would look, Daki was fading, as she told Gitaro she didn't want to die, and that she loved him, and that it's not his fault, as he would see the insect Hashira with an arm cut off. Tanjiro, could not sense anything anymore. All he could smell was Muzan's blood, and somehow he was absorbing it. Veins were pulsing all around his body. He could be shown those veins. His eyes became bloodshot as he was crying blood. Somebody that he considered a good friend, a close friend, died, and he was too caught up in his own nonsense to save them. He gripped his sword so hard that the handle snapped. All he could think about was just killing anything, everything. Murder, kill. That's all he could think about. Blood, the sight of it, the smell of it. Until he can smell only that, he won't stop. He then lunged at the insect pillar, He then lunged at the insect pillar, but Tengen got in the way. But this didn't stop him. He then went for Tengen's midsection, then jumped into the air, so high up into the air that Tengen can see the entire entertainment district. He then thought to himself, before my death, I could see something this beautiful. If only my wives were here, it would have made this moment more better. He then closed his eyes, getting ready for a fate that he knew was coming. Tanjiro then twisted his body as he yelled, Hi no Kami Kagura, clear blue sky. Unlike before, we could control the flames. This time it went rampant. The giant ring expanded, destroying everything that even the ring touched. A giant line of flames and char was seen, as anyone that even touched it was burned automatically. Although nobody on each side was affected, a lot of people died, including Tengen's wives. Obanai would be pissed, as he would try and go after Tanjiro when he lands, but Tanjiro saw this coming, as he would use fake rainbow, and then he would yell, Sunflower first, just like every other time he cut off Obanai's head. The only one that was left was the insect pillar, Shinobu. He would then look at her with tears in his eyes, asking why. Why did she have to die? She then explained that she was a demon, and that all demons must die to help the earth. As Tanjiro would then explain that demons need to eat. It's just a circle of life. If you want to do something about it, then prepare to die as well. He would then grab his sword. Only you. Only you. This is the first time I'm gonna use it, and I hate that it's you. I wish I could use it on all you Hashiras at the same time. He would then go into a weird stance. Sun breathing, 13th form. He then performed L12 sun breathing techniques on Shinobu. Even though she died at the first technique, he still went on her lifeless body until all he could see was ash. And Takito, obviously, was scared shitless. At this point, and the only person that could even sense how dangerous Tanjiro were Tokito, Muzan, sorry, I was gonna say Kibutsuchi, but that's not his name. Kokushibo, and pretty much all of the upper moons. They were all scared, seeing memories of Yoriichi, memories of Muzan getting brutalized by that same form, as he would then ask Tokito if he wants a death similar to hers, or if he wants a death that's respectful. Tokito would walk backwards, almost tripping. Tanjiro was now furious. Now you're running away. At least the other ones put up a fight before they died. Tokito was continuing to back up as he remembered memories of his mom, only evading by running away. He tried doing the same, but he couldn't. There's no way he can turn his back on him. The second that happened, he'd die as well. He then hit a wall. Shit, there's nowhere to go. Tanjiro's eyes changed from Upper Moon 2 to Upper Moon 1. Muzan didn't even do this though. Kokushibo and Muzan are having a conversation around the same time, and Kokushibo noticed that he was now Upper Moon 2. Muzan states that he didn't do it, and then flashed to Tanjiro, as Tanjiro would then wave at Tokito, but he would dodge. But it wasn't flames, it was blood. But that's Gyuto's blood demon art. How could Tanjiro even do that? Tanjiro then stomped the ground, creating a shockwave. He would then yell at the top of his lungs, creating a high-pitched squeak. Anyone could hear that. Tokito was trying to run away as he ran as fast as he could, but the sound still hit him, bursting his eardrums. He was now paralyzed. He then said moon breathing as he would pass out. He would fall to the floor, breathe slowly, and then he woke up into the Infinity Castle with the Upper Moon 1 still engraved on his iris. Nakame would then explain to Tanjiro what happened after he blacked out. He explained that after that happened, Gyutaro instantly grabbed Tanjiro and ran away, disregarding the Demon Slayer, saying that he'll kill him another time. But Tanjiro is basically the only thing left of him that he considers family. He'll continue running until eventually he was also summoned to the Infinity Castle. And that's pretty much what the fill in to Tanjiro. Tanjiro then remembered that Daki died, and Gyutaro would now ask Tanjiro to kill him so he can see Daki. Tanjiro at first didn't want to, but he then realized that Gyutaro had a scent of sorrow and sadness. If it wasn't that Tanjiro would kill him swiftly, he most definitely would have went to the sun and try and die a long, painful death. Tanjiro would go up to Gyutaro as he would kneel down with his head on the ground, as he would then say, "I'll see you, Daki," as Tanjiro would cut Gyutaro's head off, killing him. I was gonna say killing him. Anyway, Tanjiro looked at Gyutaro's burning corpse. "I'll kill them all. They all deserve to die for this. All of them. If they just didn't intervene, if she didn't intervene, Daki would still be alive, and so would Gyutaro." He would grip the handle even harder of his blade, but Nakame would remind Tanjiro that if that happens, they're going to have to buy him a new one, or steal it off another Hashira. Tanjiro vowed to kill every last one until there was nothing left. Nakame would then teleport Naruto. Did I just say Naruto? Okay, I'm sorry. That's my bad. I fucking fucked up. Tanjiro. She teleported Tanjiro in front of Muzan, as Muzan looked at Tanjiro with a fierce, look into his eyes. We need to have a little chat. And that is where I'm gonna end off part 2. I do hope you guys enjoyed this part. I'm just gonna say you're going to enjoy the 3rd part if you're liking this series so much. So hit the like button, the subscribe button for more of it, and please have a lovely day. Yo, it is me, Monkey D. Tyro, and today I'm going to talk about what if Tanjiro became a demon part 3. I think this is going to be my last, second to last / third to last, probably third to last, maybe, I don't know. That really depends on how long it's going to take me to write part 3, part 4, or if I have to split it up into 2 different parts. But yeah, this one is going to be a bit shorter than the normal ones. But besides that, please roll that new intro, please. Thank you.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.
After hours of waiting, the 5 upper demon moons wait for Tanjiro and Muzan to come out of a room of which they were talking to each other in private. Finally, Tanjiro came out of the room with blood on his mouth. "Where's Master Muzan?" Akaza asked, and they would notice that Tanjiro's eyes changed back to a normal, quote-unquote, state. In response to Akaza's question, Tanjiro simply pointed at his mouth, and all of the upper five demon moons were worried that they were going to die. But Tanjiro, smelling fear, pretty much decided that he needed to explain himself. Muzan isn't dead in a technical way. We just fused, I guess you could say. But he will be dormant until I'm dead. If I do die, he will emerge once again. Therefore, that means that until that happens, I am the new Demon King. After Tanjiro said that, his presence changed, his aura. Everybody bowed to him, not because they felt threatened or fear, but because Tanjiro was so calm and soft-spoken, but yet still had so much confidence in his voice that for some reason, they couldn't disobey him. After a few weeks, Tanjiro did find a new Upper Moon 6, Kaigaku. Tanjiro would realize that the demon slayers that are turned into demons are pretty strong, in order that if they ever see a Hashira, if they can beat them, they need to turn them into a demon, so that the 12 demon moons can finally be restored. Tanjiro would try and find the Demon Slayer headquarters, but it would take 4 long, gruesome years of searching. Within these 4 years, 2 of the upper demon moons have fallen. But to Tanjiro's eyes, they weren't really that important, as they both fell to the love and mist Hashira, who he saw as the weakest ones. But Tanjiro did not realize that the mist Hashira was extremely strong. This was Upper Moon 5 and 4, now gone, but in a way replaced, as Kaigaku then went up the ranks to Upper Moon 6 and Nakume to Upper Moon 4. The sun finally set as Tanjiro finally, after 4 years, found the Demon Slayer headquarters, and he walked into it. with so much confidence that any demon slayer, even if they're not good at sensing a demon, would feel his presence. He came face to face with the Hashira of that time. There was 12. Tanjiro was confused. He thought he killed a good handful of them, but now they're spreading like wildfire. The Sun Hashira, Takeo Kamado, Tanjiro's younger brother. Tanjiro smiled when he saw him. Then there was the Water Hashira, Giyu Tomioka. The Flame Hashira, who has now changed from Kojiro Rengoku to Sanjiro Rengoku, Kojiro's younger brother, who especially looked pissed. The Rock Hashira, Gyome Hamejima. The Wind Hashira, Saname Shinazugawa. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher his last name forever. The Thunder Hashira, Zenitsu Agatsuma. The Beast Hashira, Inosuke Hashibira. The Flower Hashira, Kanao Tsuyuri. The Love Hashira, Mitsui Kanroji. The Mist Hashira, Michiro Tokito. And finally, the Demon Hashira, Genya Shinaguzawa. Tanjiro looked at them all with glee. Yeah, screw 12 demon moons. Who's adding to stop there? He would chuckle. He finally noticed Tokito's new look. He looked a lot like Tanjiro. Then again, they are siblings, so it only made sense. Tokyo, it's been a while. You should be around 16, right? How have you been? Tokyo grabbed his sword even harder. After 4 years of an absence, he was hoping that he never saw Tanjiro's face again. Not after that night where he almost came to death by him. Came to death by... Let's continue, okay? The master of all demon slayers stood up, but it was obvious that he was gonna die any moment. Who are you? What happened to Muzan? He asked. Tanjiro, with a smile, replied, I am the killer of the flame, insect, serpent, and sound Hashira. I am the previous Upper Moon 2 and Upper Moon 1. I am Muzan's successor. I am stronger than Muzan, faster, smarter. I am Tanjiro Kamado, the sun-breathing demon king. All of the Hashira were shocked. He said it with such confidence that at this point they might as well give up. But no, Sanjiro snapped him back. As a usual Rengoku, he led the charge, but instead of a smile, it was pure rage. This is for killing my older brother, Kyojiro Rengoku. Ew. He would then charge at Tanjiro, trying to use the 9th form, Rengoku, but it would miss as Tanjiro snapped his fingers and everybody was teleported into the Infinity Castle. Every Hashira looked around in confusion. They looked into the center of the castle and they saw Tanjiro standing there menacingly. They ran after Tanjiro, but when they got too close to him, he disappeared, as they could hear the whisper, sun-breathing, fake rainbow. The room then changed for everybody, and everybody was kind of, forced to, go in pairs, like in the original timeline. Genya, Sanjiro, and Mitsui were paired together, and their opponent was the new Upper Moon 2 Akuza. Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Kanao were paired together, and their opponent was Upper Moon 3 Kaigaku. Muchiro and Gyome were paired, and their opponent was Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo. Genya and Sanami were paired, and their opponent was Upper Moon 4 Nakame, and Tokito was gonna fight Tanjiro by himself. All the Hashira got into the improvised formations, and the battle of the Infinity Castle begins as the time from midnight to sunrise, the clock struck down. Oh, guys, I know this one was short, way shorter than my normal ones. This didn't even reach 10 minutes. But I promise you, I am definitely gonna make it up to you guys. The thing is, I thought this was gonna be a good spot to stop, as the Infinity Castle battle was gonna be extremely long. Like, extremely long. Hell, in the original manga, it was 1/3 of the entire story. 1/3. And 1/3 of that was just a fight with Muzan. So, I mean, when I tell you this fight's gonna be long, it's gonna be long, and I didn't want to shove it into this video, but I will shove it into the next one. I just want to say thank you for listening to me. I hope you guys enjoy. Please like and subscribe if you want to. Hey, comment down below. The thing is, I want to do a what if Tanjiro had a different breathing style, but I don't know what breathing style I would want to give him. I have one in mind, which would be what if Tanjiro learned lava breathing, but I don't know. If you guys have a suggestion, that would be very nice. And goodbye.
Yo, it is me, Monkey D. Tyro, and I'm finally finishing off What If Tanjiro Became a Demon Part 4. Enjoy.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.
Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Kanao stood in front of Kagoku. Zenitsu would be enraged at the side of his elder in the thunder breathing style. Zenitsu would ask why become a demon, as Kagoku would chuckle. It's not like I was gonna get any stronger as a human. And Zenitsu would then grab his blade. I'll show you how stronger I got then. Thunder breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash, 1K fold. Zenitsu would charge at Kagoku as the entire Infinity Castle rumbled. Kagoku and Zenitsu would clash multiple times, and it would be heard throughout the entire Infinity Castle as the sound of multiple thunderbolts hitting the ground. Zenitsu and Kagoku would continue using their respective versions of the thunder breathing. Kagoku would alternate between all forms, and Zenitsu would only use his one form. Eventually, Zenitsu would realize that he needs to do the max amount of folds he knows he can, which then he said, thunder breathing, thunderclap flash, Godspeed, 10K fold. Kagoku would chuckle and laugh. You think if you add more, you're gonna be stronger? You're only getting weaker by the second, Zenitsu. That's how I knew you were worthless. As Kagoku would then use third form, Thunder Swarm. But because of Zenitsu's Godspeed, it missed. Inosuke and Kanao could only watch as Kagoku and Zenitsu would be continuing battle. Well, in their eyes, it was like nothing was there, but the sound was. They were moving so fast that nobody could even see them. Meanwhile, Inosuke had an idea to use beast breathing 7th form spatial awareness to try and figure out where everybody was. And he found out even though it's called the Infinity Castle, they're only a few kilometers away from each other. And that as long as if Zenitsu can win this battle, they can go help the others. Zenitsu and Kagoku kept going on and on. It almost felt like it was hours, it was only minutes. Zenitsu would then eventually get at Kagoku's neck, as he would then say, I was saving this last one for you, so I can be a part of you, but now it's here to kill you. 7th form, Flaming Thunder God. He would then charge at Kakaku as he would envision himself with a giant flaming thunder dragon. He would then cut off Kakaku's head as Kakaku would then yell, "This is how I knew you were the favorite. He even taught you a secret form." Meanwhile, Genya, Sanjiro, and Mitsuri were in battle with Akaza. The trio couldn't get closer, not only because of Akaza's flaming shockwaves when he stomps the ground, because their ears were disrupted by the multiple sounds of thunderclaps. I'm gonna say Sanjiro, I know it's Jiro. Sanjiro would have burn marks all over his body. Mitsuri lost her eye after a punch, and Genya lost his right arm. He couldn't heal it back because he didn't eat a demon yet. Sanjiro would hear multiple thunderclaps. He'd eventually get used to it until they finally stopped. Akaza would walk forward. "You guys are all weak. Weak! If only you guys became demons. Then you guys can get stronger. You wouldn't have a time limit. You guys can get stronger forever. Fight me forever. Isn't this fun?" Akaza would have a childish smile as Genya would try and shoot Akaza, but he would just simply grab the bullet. "It's disrespectful. Why would you bring a gun to a sword fight?" He would then grab Genya by the throat and toss him through a couple rooms. Now that he's out of the way, he would then walk towards Sanjiro, then grab him by the head. And, "You guys are all weak. Just give up or die. Become a demon or die. Look at them. If you just became a demon, you'd get stronger. There's 2 meals right there." Here. But as he just said that, Genya would then jump at Akaza and bite his arm. Akaza would then jump back, leading to Mitsuri cutting off Akaza's legs. "I thought you were dead," Akaza would shout. He would then do a back spring, regrowing his legs. Genya would then tell Sanjiro and Mitsuri to jump as he punched the ground, causing a flaming shockwave. Akaza would simply jump to dodge, but Mitsuri again kicks Akaza back into the ground. The sound of Akaza's back hitting the floor was almost like a snapping and stretching sound. Then Sanjiro would perform the flame-breathing 9th form as Akaza would see Tanjiro's memories. He would see the same stance, the same form, as he would then go on to cut Akaza's head off. Everybody was breathing heavily. They thought the battle was over, but Akaza's body stood back up. Fear then fled into everybody's hearts. Akaza regrew his own head as he laughed. "You think that was gonna kill me? Upper 2? There's only 2 people in this world that can make me regrow my own head. But I'm surprised that you would be the 3rd out of all. I'm gonna be honest, that rock pillar seemed stronger. Now I'm excited. After I'm done with you, I'm going straight for him." And then Sanjiro would lunge towards Akaza as Akaza simply stabs Sanjiro through the chest. Come on, just become a demon. If you do, then you'll be stronger." Sanjiro would then yell, "I don't care, I can care less about strength. As long as I fulfill my duty, I'll be happy." As he would then cut off Akaza's arms and jump back. Akaza would then just regrow it. "Come on! How stubborn can you demon slayers be? Look at yourself. My arm's in your chest. That's the only thing keeping you alive right now. Then again, you're gonna die sooner or later." There. So I do respect that you're trying to die with honor, but it's such bullshit. Akaza would then widen his eyes. Damn it. As he would then jump into a room that was right above them and grab the scene. As Sanjuro would yell, "You coward!" as he jumped after him. Then he finally realized the reason why. A giant slash was seen, with a bunch of crescent-shaped slashes following after it. Mitsuri and Genya were cut to bits. They have died. Then Sanjuro looked worried. There was fear in his eyes as his friends have finally died. Although he wished they would die in peace, seeing them like this scared him. Akaza was going to punch Sanjuro's head, but Inosuke, luckily, is there to save him, as Sanjuro felt a sharp pain in his chest. It was Inosuke's foot kicking him to a nearby room. Inosuke would then yell, "Watch out, I'm coming through. The king of the mountains is here." As then he would use Crazy Cut to try and cut off Akasa's head, but he missed. Akasa would lunge backwards as he looked at the source of the giant slash. Kokoshibo was walking out of a hallway, eating a dead Michiro's arm. As he would look at Akaza, "What's taking so long? Tanjiro's not going to be so happy." Akaza would then state, "You only had 2 people, I had to deal with 3, and now I have to deal with a 4th. Kokoshibo would then just continue eating. Those are words of a weakling. Akaza would get enraged. "What was that? You want to go right now?" Kokoshibo would then tell Akaza, "Keep a calm head. Do you understand what we're dealing with? It's either you pay attention or you're gonna die." Just then, Zenitsu was seen almost cutting off Akaza's head, but Akaza dodged, then punched Zenitsu in the chest. But luckily, Zenitsu was able to block it with a sword, sending him back into the other side of the giant room they were in. "Wait, where's Kagaku?" As Zenitsu would then smile, "He's dead, finally." As Akaza would then just punch himself in the face. "I thought I trained him well. How could he die to Ashira? Let alone this one. Thunder breathing is not cool," Akaza said, with a smile. "You can barely get a good fight out of it anyway." Kagaku would then just simply state, "Well, I can help you out here, I guess." As he extended his sword and tried slashing at Zenitsu. But luckily Zenitsu was fast enough to dodge it. But he didn't see the giant crescent-shaped slashes following after it. Luckily, Inosuke was able to use Crazy Cut to cut off all the slashes that was going directly through Zenitsu to save him. "Pay attention, crazy hair." As Zenitsu would repeat, "My name's Zenitsu, you know that." As Zenitsu would then charge after Kokoshibo. Sanjuro would then get up. "I have to fulfill my duty." As he would also charge at Kokoshibo, Akaza just jumped after Sanjuro and kicked him into another room. "I'm not done with you yet." He would then follow up with a combo. Destruction, Annihilation, Air type. As he would punch the air, creating flaming shockwaves. Damn it, the records on you said you only create shockwaves. Where'd the flames come from? As Akaza would then say, "Hey, Tanjiro's blood. After I got a good upgrade, now we all know we can utilize his sun style to the way we want to use him. For example, my shockwaves can now be boosted with flames. You don't even want to know what Kokoshibo can do with his." As Kokoshibo, while fighting Zenitsu and Inosuke, would just simply tell Akaza, "Don't tell them, it ruins the fun." And in fact, I'll just demonstrate mine. As he would grow his sword to an unreasonable length and slash the entire area. The crescent-shaped moon slashes then set ablaze as a giant flaming fireball that would then appear. Zenitsu Inosuke were luckily fast enough in order to not only counter this but get out of the area. But Tanjiro unluckily wasn't. Akaza did also get hit by the blast, but luckily Akaza knows how to regrow his own head, so it didn't bother him that much. He also was able to regenerate fast enough to the point where it seemed like nothing really happened, even though his clothes were torn up. Tanjiro died, as well as the others. The only demon slayers left were Tokito, Genya, Sanemi, and now Kanao. All of them have not been seen yet. We then go across the Infinite Castle, as it's then shown that Sanemi and Genya are trying to run towards the battle. As Genya would then state, that upper demon form is very tough. If she was that powerful, I can only imagine what upper demon 1 is. As Genya would then say, speak for yourself, she was a piece of cake. As we then see a dead Nakume burning away because of, she was decapitated, so after that, Genya, Sanemi eventually joined up to the battle with Kokushibo. Wait, what did they do to Nakume? I thought she assigned them to herself. As Genya would just charge at Kokushibo. Sanemi, obviously, because of his banter, made Kokushibo a little bit mad. She was a piece of cake. You demons are getting very weak. Eek. Inosuke Zenitsu would then charge after Kokushibo, as was a 4-on-1. Luckily, Akaza was at Kokushibo's back, punching one of the demon slayers, Inosuke back. I want to fight you next. At least make it a little bit fair. He then grabs Zenitsu, kind of choking him, while also throwing him at Inosuke. They then went to a different room. But because of Nakume's death, the Infinite Castle was shaking and then falling apart. Random bits of the floor, the ceiling, the walls, some staircases would just fall at random. Because of this, Zenitsu and Inosuke had to adjust fighting Akaza, as Genya and Sanemi also did adjust fighting Kokushibo. But Genya was the next to bite the dust and die, as Kokushibo simply just struck Genya's neck, cutting his head off. Although Sanemi, luckily, was one of the chosen to gain his Demon Slayer mark. He also, because of clashing his blade with Kokushibo's, was able to get the red blade, which made fighting Kokushibo a little bit easier. Kokushibo and Genya would practically be zooming through the entire Infinity Castle. Eventually, Sanemi would cut off Kokushibo's neck, this time killing Kokushibo. Kokushibo would sit there with his head on the floor. How could I die? To a demon slayer that didn't even use sun breathing. I'd rather die to Tanjiro. Wait, Tanjiro. I have to alert Tanjiro. Then Genya heard her voice. It was Tanjiro's. It's okay. You did what you needed to do. Now I know where you are. You may rest in peace. As Genya would then see a vision of Tanjiro looking down to him. He was just so kind, so warm. He didn't die with any hate or regret. He simply died, knowing that at least somebody acknowledged his strength, somebody of the breathing style. Speaking of Tanjiro, we would then cut to him as he fought Tokito. Their fight raged on. Tanjiro eventually gaining the ability of the transparent world, the ability to see through somebody. He would then notice something. Tokio's breathing. It was weird to him. Tanjiro, albeit, only knew the sun breathing from the dance, but not the actual breathing part. He would then remember his dad saying they needed to learn to breathe correctly. Tanjiro would then clash with Tokio's blade, which then allowed him to gain a memory. The memory of the sun breather. He then realized something. His footing, his breathing, the entire thing about his version of sun breathing was completely off, completely wrong. This meant that he never, in his entire demon career, ever was fighting at full power. Even though he would try his best, he was never actually fighting for real. Tanjiro adjusted his breathing, and he was faster and stronger. It's almost like he can just fight forever. This eventually overwhelmed Tokio, and then Tanjiro would whisper into his ear, "How about you tell Mom I said hi?" As she would then cut off Tokio's head. He would then grab it, and then he would eat his own brother. As Tanjiro would laugh and yell, "Finally, I'm the only one. I'm the only one." Tanjiro would laugh and laugh. He was the strongest, but at what cost? Nakame, his friend the last 6 years, was dead. Pretty much most Upper Demon Moons except for Akaza were dead. He would then realize most of his family was dead. He was alone. Akaza was the only one left. And then he heard it. A sharp sword slashing. It was Zenitsu and Inosuke gaining the Red Blade ability, with Inosuke also gaining the Demon Slayer mark. Zenitsu and Inosuke would look around as Akaza's body would fade away. Tanjiro would be extremely pissed. At this point, the entire Infinity Castle came apart and they were all transported into reality. The sun was actually about to come up. As the sun was rising, Tanjiro would grab his blade and look at the last 3 Demon Slayers. "You're gonna die. You're all gonna die," he would repeat. As Inosuke, as cocky as he was, he would then say, "He's the last one." He would then charge, as Zenitsu would yell, "Inosuke, wait!" But then it was too late. Tanjiro threw his blade at Inosuke, which the throw was so strong that the blade didn't stop at just his head. It went past it, leaving a giant mark. The only thing left of Inosuke's face was just his jaw. He would fall lifeless to the floor. Tanjiro would walk slowly. Sanemi would then say, "Grab his blade," as he would go to get it, but then it just disappeared. As he would then realize his entire arm was cut off. It was Tanjiro. He would then slash at what he thought was Tanjiro, but it was revealed to be Tanjiro using fake rainbow. He would then say, "Sun breathing, 13th form." He would combine all 12 forms of sun breathing to kill Sanemi. The last was him and Zenitsu. "You're the last one." Honestly, I thought it would be Tokio's, but I guess fate is funny. He would then walk to Zenitsu. Zenitsu, he remembered back 4 years ago. If he was in this situation, he would be pissing his pants, shaking, and probably would have been dead long before. But now he had confidence. He had a wife. He had kids. He had someone to love, someone to pass on his breathing style. Hell, it was already passed on. He knew if he died, it wouldn't be the end. But he still had to try his hardest. Zenitsu charged after Tanjiro, as he would then yell, "This is the end of you, you monster." But Tanjiro simply cut off Zenitsu's head. And he would then look back at his life as the sun was rising. This can't be the end. There's so much more to do. I haven't found the blue spider lily like Master Muzan said. But I must continue on. But the sun was rising and eventually was now overhead the mountains and shining down on Tanjiro. Tanjiro was preparing for the worst, but then he realized he was the demon that overcame the sun. He was the prophesized demon. He would then laugh. Do you see that, Muzan? Do you see it? I'm fulfilling my duty. As Muzan would then whisper in Tanjiro's ear, yes, now please finish it. Tanjiro would ask what he means, as Muzan would then crawl out of Tanjiro's body. Well, before then, Tanjiro would then be standing into his own version of the Infinity Castle. As Muzan crawled outside Tanjiro's body, Tanjiro would look at Muzan, as Muzan would then look at Tanjiro. Congratulations. Thank you for shooting from the sun, Tanjiro. You were always so polite. Tanjiro would smile. I just wish the upper demon moons didn't have to die for this cause. As Muzan would then say, it was a worthy sacrifice. If they hadn't died, I wouldn't have known that you are the demon that overcame the sun. Tanjiro would smile. Are you proud of me, Master Muzan? Tanjiro asked. As Muzan said, all throughout your demon career, the last 6 years I've always been proud of you. And as now we must do one last thing. Tanjiro would happily say, what is it? As Muzan would say, die. As Muzan would go and strike Tanjiro's neck, Tanjiro, in self-defense, would cut off Muzan's arm while springing backwards. Muzan, why would you do that? Muzan said, I must be the strongest. I will not be satisfied until I'm the only demon that can overcome the sun. In order to do that, I must eat you. As Muzan and Tanjiro would then converse in battle, Tanjiro would get rapid flashes to back when he had to fight his own mother. Rapid flashes to his family abusing him, and rapid flashes to his whole life. His entire demon career, he has grown friends, a family, and now they're all dead. Muzan called them sacrifices. Tanjiro would slowly realize that he isn't a demon because Muzan cared. No, this entire time Muzan was just using him. This enraged Tanjiro. He would eventually, then say, no, Muzan, you're forgetting one thing. I'm the Demon King, not you. Tanjiro would simply snap his fingers, as he then teleported both him and Muzan outside into the sun. Muzan would burn, as he was trying to crawl slower and slower to Tanjiro. Tanjiro just simply stomped on Muzan's hand. I am not the disappointment. I was just disappointed in you, Muzan. You're nothing. Muzan would burn away. Tanjiro sat there. He expected him to die, since in a technical sense, Muzan was the only thing between him and life and death. But nothing happened. Tanjiro then would walk to his own hometown. Through the village, everybody saw him. They thought Tanjiro died 6 years ago. But now seeing him, they then realized he looked way younger than he should have been. He would then go to his own home. The blood was still stained and dried. The bodies were still there. Nezuko's body practically was decayed. He would then state, if he can go back in time and change one thing, he'd want Nezuko to be a demon alongside him. But that simply won't happen. Tanjiro would then hear something. Who's there? Tanjiro would ask, as it was Irokudaki looking at Tanjiro. Tanjiro would simply disappear in a snowstorm. We then skip 20 years into the future, and he would see Tanjiro in a giant castle. This time, it was out in the open and established in the world. he would see multiple demons, all with unique features, as Tanjiro would then state. These are the new 12 demon moons. 12 demons who looked unique, different sizes and different colors of skin. Tanjiro would then point at the direction of where the sun set. We're gonna conquer the world. We already conquered Japan. And we demons would then rule. Tanjiro would then stick his fist into the air as pretty much thousands of demons would cheer as they would all shout, Demon King Tanjiro, Demon King Tanjiro. The world would then get this message. They would prepare for battle. Heck, one even tried sending a nuke, but because of Tanjiro's strength and how much it grown in the past 20 years, the nuke was practically nothing. We then skip to another 20 years, as you'd see the modern day of Japan, the United States, Russia, everywhere. Instead of humans, they were all demons, and Tanjiro gave his blood to all of them, and because of this, all demons were able to live in this daytime, in the sunlight. Although they couldn't feed on human flesh, demons were able to adapt to pretty much be like normal humans, eating on animals and plants. Tanjiro would look at his world, as he was technically the emperor of it. You would see a different set of demon moons. Although the upper 30 were the same as 20 years ago. Tanjiro would look down at everything, and he would remember his old life as a human. And he would realize how much time has truly passed and how it changed. He would then tell himself to forget that, and that his new life as the Demon Emperor should be continued. Tanjiro would smile. This is only the beginning. And this is where we're ending it off. Thank you for listening to me just ramble on and on about a show that, I love. I just want to thank you guys for 400 subscribers. It's been crazy these past 11 days. I want to tell you that. Actually, this entire month, this entire year, it's been crazy. But I am happy that you guys come to me for entertainment, for maybe listening to me while you're writing. I mean, that's truly possible. Maybe you're making videos while listening to me. That would be crazy, but hey. Maybe you're listening to me while you're trying to go to sleep, or you're just listening to me just to listen to me, or you're at school, or you're just having a bad day. Thank you. And I do hope we can get to 500. That'd be awesome. This is the first time I'm ever making an ending, and I think I like it. Like the ending. If you guys want to see an epilogue, maybe you want to see what would happen in the previous 20 years, or maybe you want to see an epilogue of how Tanjiro runs as the emperor of the world. Or maybe you want an epilogue seeing Tanjiro taking over the world. I'll do that. I'll happily make an epilogue solely on Tanjiro just taking over the world. That'll be awesome. But I don't think I'm going to fit this at the end. I just wanted you guys to enjoy, not Demon King Tanjiro, Demon Emperor Tanjiro. I think that'd be cool. Like, subscribe if you want to. I don't care. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. The movie will come out, I don't know, maybe a couple days. But yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed. I did. I know I did. Goodbye.